welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a new Porsche Super Cup competition here at NXTGP. I'm happy to welcome you guys at the virtual circuit of Sebring, where we will kick off that very first round of this new NXTGP iRacing Porsche Cup. Again, my name is Daan van Zutphen. I will be your commentator and your broadcaster here today. So it's going to be a ton of multitasking here at this 5.7 kilometer circuit, but I'm sure these drivers will have it way tougher. Qualifying has already begun, and at this point it's Finnish driver Samuel Suopanki, who's currently in first position in his Porsche Super Cup, now finishing his lap, currently in pole position with a 159.3. Let's see what this qualifying has in store more than as finally my game loads in, and we can finally watch these beautiful Porsche Cups give it an absolute go at this fantastic American circuit. You can see two people who haven't set their lap times. One is a driver who's known to be very fast, Felix Votter, if I pronounce it correctly, probably not, and I myself, because I somehow registered as a Porsche Super Cup and not just as a spectator. So we will have 13 drivers in total on this grid, and we have about 6 minutes remaining in qualifying, so it's safe to say somewhat of a stable order in this qualifying session has been established. Again, I'm doing this all on my own, so if any audio, if we have any delay, if something is too high, too low, you can always let me know in the chat. And you can always support your favorite drivers in the chat. We're now watching Henrik Lichtenhagen, the German driver with car number 55, currently finding himself in P2. Behind that is Henry Poloneva. First time pronouncing that name. First appearance for Henry in a Porsche Super Cup here at NXTGP. So a lot of Finnish drivers here today, at least at the front. So P1 and P3 are both Finnish here. Behind that it's Tijmen Elkhuizen on track. P4 in his Porsche Super Cup. Someone who is well known at the NXTGP is Nico Schiffer himself, driving with the 77 Porsche Super Cup. I actually raced Nico Schiffer myself in the GT3 competition. We almost had a year ago, a bit less than a year ago, we hosted a full-fledged GT3 competition here at NXTGP. The driver from Lion GP always being sure to be a competitive outfit, especially in these Porsche Super Cups. See where Nico Schiffer will end up. He probably won't be satisfied with P5, especially given we have Felix Votter, who is on track. Yes, is on track now. I was wondering that he might not get a lap in. I just said Nico Schiffer Line GP East Coast. I think that's still wrong from earlier, because I see the livery of pole position motorsport from Felix Votter, and well, Nico Schiffer has the exact same livery, so probably a mistake there in timing tower settings. Anyway, the man who's currently, and that will not change for the rest of the duration of probably this entire cup, having the highest I rating on the grid, 10k, Felix Votter, so forced to be reckoned with for all of these drivers. 3 minutes ago, and the number 26 Porsche Carrera Super Cup driver still needs to put on a lap on the board, which he'll be satisfied with. Let's see if the big competition can put his pedal to the metal. Approaching Sunset Bend, the very last turner at the Sebring Raceway. Very fitting name for the corner, especially when we go sundown, or sunset I should say. You can always have a lovely view of that sun coming through Sunset Bend, as Felix Votter isn't really concerned with the sun at this point. He needs to get a good exit to either start. It's probably one of his last lap, probably the last lap he will do. Almost pole position by Felix Votter, but for now Samuel Suopanki is holding station in P1. Let's see if the Finnish driver can actually improve. He's on for an improvement. He's a bit ahead on the track. There's a car in front of him that might actually give him a very valuable slipstream. The number 81 for Team Enduratech. Well, we've seen some spectacular underdog story here. Finding out in a few moments time. Only 50-ish seconds remain in this qualifying session. Can he improve his time? Can Felix Votter improve his time? Hendrik Lichtenhagen, he's out of the running, so that's P3 out. Nico Schiffer is also almost coming across the line, actually behind the Finnish driver. So who's it gonna be? Nico Schiffer coming. Oh! We're done! Oh, they couldn't make one more lap. Almost across the line, and they couldn't make one more lap. The timing is done, and therefore we will need to go to the very grid of this race. Alright, well, it's Suopanki who is going to start this race in P1 behind, again, forced to be reckoned with, Felix Votter here at Sebring. So that's your front row, Suopanki and Votter. On the second row it's going to be Lichtenhagen and Paulo Neva. On your third row it's going to be Tijmen Elkhuizen, the first Dutch driver in this Dutch competition. Nico Schiffer will start in P6, Elwas van Kruiswijk will start in P7, followed by Italian driver Coatti, followed by Noble, followed by Thijs, followed by Liam Prien. We then have a few more positions to go. It's Niklas Welle in P12 and Lucas Metzler in P13, and I will not race because I signed up as a driver and not as a spectator. Alright, well, when the lights are out we're going to have one race of 20 minutes. After that we will have the feature race with, if I recall correctly, a reverse grid, so your top 10 will then be completely reversed, and pole position or P1 will start from P10 and so on when going down to P2. Alright, lights are almost going to be out. We have a bit of waiting time to go. It shouldn't be too much on this beautiful virtual track. When will the lights go out? At the circuit of Sebring, a circuit with so much history. We all know the very infamous 12 hours of Sebring. Well, there we go. The lights are almost red. The engines will be revved.
Green, green, green.
And out the lights are, and away we go for this very first round in this new competition. Who will have the better start? It seems like the German driver Felix Votter has the start absolutely nailed down. Need to try it on the outside of the Finnish driver. A cutback it is, a switchback it is, and Felix Votter takes the lead in this race rather quickly. Finnish driver needs to look in his mirrors because the 55 of Hendrik Lichtenhagen is right in that mirrors. Tijmen Elkhuizen has had a good start. The Dutch driver now up one position. Henry Paloneva, who started in P4, had a rather bad start. From before to P6 also has some damage on his rear end. Alright, what's going to happen in the midfield then? Is Julian Thies on the inside there? I think it's Davide Coatti, the Italian driver. Indeed it is. Behind that is going to be Jan Noble. But these drivers giving it their all in the opening stages of this race, coming into turn 6 here. Davide on the inside. Julian Thijs on the inside now actually, and actually making the move stick. Oh, Jan Noble overtaking Julian Thijs there. You see, it was Davide Coatti there who made a very good move there, back to the front. Finnish driver Suopanki still in P2. Felix Votter is increasing that gap very, very fast. Now it's Nico Schiffer's turn to follow his teammate and make some moves up in this grid. He only has about 20 minutes to do so, 19-18 minutes when the first lap is completed. Coming into Sunset Bend. Oh, three, almost in a train of three there. Nico Schiffer needing to abruptly brake a bit harder than he would like to. Didn't expect Elkhuizen to brake that early for Sunset Bend. Time Elkhuizen, does he go to the inside of the first corner? Gets it all shot by Hendrik Lichtenhagen. But perhaps the Dutchman won't give up that easily. It could send one down the inside. A lot of overtaking opportunities at the circuit of Sebring if you know where to go. But this time around, Elkhuizen being pretty patient, looking for any chance to overtake Hendrik Lichtenhagen for that final podium spot. Making him aware in the mirrors. There he is on the inside. The number 3 making contact as well with the number 55. And down Hendrik Lichtenhagen drops. Henry Paloneva also might want the benefit of that. But Nico Schiffer goes through as well. Little bit of contact between the two drivers. And now Henry Palanova as well on the inside, needing to make it stick. Even more contact for the German driver and the Finnish driver. Oh, it's so tight, but Henry Palanova makes the move stick. But the German driver, Lichtenhagen, wants to come back. It's all for naught though, losing even more time. Has lost 3 positions in, well, not even half a lap here. Now he needs to look even more in his rear view mirrors. There is Ewout van Kruijsen for Skyblock Racing. Has some damage though, the Dutch driver in P7 has. Well, let's see if we can get a little replay of it. This is Nico Schiffer on board. There's the contact made between the number 3 and the number 55. And Nico Schiffer simply goes through. Well, the Finnish driver won't be happy with that. Maybe the race control has something to say about that incident, but it's fair hard racing as the Finnish driver of Henry Paloneva touches the outside wall coming out of the last corner, just for good measure. Well, what a start we've had here at Sebring Raceway. But it's Felix Votter who's definitely increasing his lead. It's already 1.4 seconds after roughly 2 laps. Can the Finnish driver named Samuel Suopanki do anything about that current lead? Perhaps a move for P7, the Italian Davide Coatti pushing Ewout van Kruijsen through that very sharp hairpin corner at the bottom of Sebring Raceway. Number 535 Porsche Carrera Super Cup, wanting to try everything. Seems he's a bit faster than Van Kruijsen as well. But where is the overtaking opportunity for Coatti? He needs to get a good exit out of the Lamar curve to maybe slingshot himself into Sunset Bend, as my camera somehow has lost a feeder. There we are again. Perhaps fights up and down the grid. Jan Noble overtaking his teammate Luca Metzler. Those are surely team orders. Luca Metzler not making the life of his teammate all too hard. Not letting him by with pleasure, but letting him by nonetheless. Well, finish driver Samuel Suopanki isn't done yet with Felix Water. Just at the fastest lap of the race at 2:04. The chase is still on for the victory in this race. A train of three then. A battle of three for the third spot in this race. Nico Schiffer in fourth position, sandwiched by Elkhuysen and Poloneva. Poloneva, who's had a rough start of this race, but now looking to come back, getting closer and closer at the back of Nico Schiffer. Getting closer to the railing of that pole promotion esports Porsche Super Cup. But the number 77 has his sights set on Tijmen Elkhuysen. Although I must admit, there's almost nothing in between these three drivers. As it's Hendrik Lichtenhagen who's also coming a bit closer again. Well, they had a rough start, didn't they? Sebring Raceway, such a well-known circuit. Just because it's so well known, it's so well practiced by a lot of the drivers as well, so there's immediate pace for all of these drivers, for almost all of these drivers, having probably... there's almost, I think there was contact with the wall actually. That's Julian Thijs. So far so good for the 999 Porsche Super Cup, but well, could have gone horribly wrong. Back to the fight for P3. Well, this is good practice for people like Felix Votter. I'm quite sure have qualified himself for the actual Porsche Carrera Esports Super Cup hosted by Porsche themselves. So that's about the official Porsche iRacing Super Cup. And this is good practice for the German driver. First were the regional qualifiers, they have ended. And now it's about preparation for the bigger podiums, the bigger stages in that Porsche Carrera Super Cup. And well, every top driver can use all the preparation he can get his hands on. Race preparation, even preparation for a race is always different than racing itself. It's a different mindset. Your hands, your feet, your brain just works a little bit different when you actually are in a race and simulating in a practice session that you are actually racing. Maybe you're a bit on the edge when you're in a race, and then you know that for the next race that you can keep on building that by racing and racing more. Because using a race as actual practice is probably better than practice.
Halfway already through this race. Well, they say time flies when you're having fun.
I'm quite sure Felix Votter has his fun, because he's currently increasing his gap a little bit. well, Davide Coatti is still at the back of Ewald van Kruijsen, both with a not so streamlined front end. Ewald van Kruijsen doesn't seems to have any damage on the rear, nor does the Italian driver chasing him. It's getting tight though. Only 2 tenths between Coatti and Van Kruijsen. Van Kruijsen needs to not look into his rear view mirrors too much, because that will slow you down. Focus on your apexes, focuses on the road ahead. If you constantly look at the time gap, oh, he's getting closer again, he's getting closer again, you'll drive slower unconsciously, maybe subconsciously. Oh, 1/10 it is now. Surely Davide Coatti
We'll go for a move very, very soon.
Ewald van Kruijsen defending a little bit, as he needs to. Coming through the Mach curve onto the Ullmann straight. Has a bad exit, Ewald van Kruijsen. That allows Davide Coatti to come closer once more. He needs to have the momentum coming into Sunset Bend, the very last corner of the 6th lap. And there he goes down the inside. Seems to have already done it. Or can Ewald van Kruijsen switch it back? Yes, he can. And there he goes again, up to P7, defending his position very well, the Dutch driver. He will be happy. He's allowed Davide Coatti to stagnate, getting that P7 just a little bit more, just a little bit longer. He only needs 7.5 minutes, and P7 for the silver driver is his. Speaking about silver drivers, like in all the other Porsche Super Cups we've hosted here at NXTGP, we are using driver classes once again. We have a gold class, we have a silver class, and we have a bronze class. Yes, indeed. All of these classes are based on a minimum of I rating and a maximum. A pro driver needs to have a minimum of 4,000 I rating. Well, Felix Vogler has over double the amount. The silver driver needs to have a minimum of 2,000 I rating and a maximum of 4,000 I rating. And the bronze driver needs to have a maximum of 2,000 I rating, otherwise he gets bumped up to the silver class in this championship. Because of those different classes, we can also give different prizes to different winners of each class. So P1 in the overall gold class will receive 65 euros and an hour of coaching by Sim Racing Center. If I'm correct, they can pick out a driver who they want coaching from, and this time around they will get a real life driver's trophy. What's better than a real life driver's trophy to put on your table or put somewhere near your sim rig room, and as that as a fantastic example of the level of skill, a physical trophy. P2 gets it as well, and P1 in the silver class will get that as well. P2 will get 50 euros and also an hour of coaching in the gold class, and P3 will receive 25 euros. And a free custom livery also with an IRL trophy. Well, enough to earn in this Porsche Carrera Super Cup champion. Nico Schiffer knows that, because he's been on the back of Tijmen Elkhuysen's number 3 Porsche Carrera Super Cup for quite some time now. And it seems that he's getting closer and closer. Maybe saved his tires just a little bit for the final stages of this race. 5 minutes to go, roughly 4 minutes to go when we cross the line. So we'll have about exactly 2 laps to drive after this one. It
It all depends really when Felix Vosser will come across the line, but I'm quite confident it's going to be enough for 2 laps. 3 laps is a bit far-fetched.
Oh! Tijmen Elkhuizen has made a mistake. And now this is a chance for Nico Schiffer to get by. Maybe the finish driver of Henry Paranova can get by as well. 3 wide coming into Sunset Bend. Who will benefit the most? It's Nico Schiffer on the inside. Paranova on the inside as well of Tijmen Elkhuizen. But Elkhuizen remains strong around the outside of that Sunset Bend as Hendrik Lichtenhagen makes contact with the wall for the visor. But Tijmen Elkhuizen loses a place but remains in P4. That's absolutely crucial for this race and also his starting position in next race. But this race isn't done yet. Tijmen Elkhuizen needs to keep an eye on his rear view mirrors because Henry Paloneva is still there.
What a mistake by the Dutch driver though. We can get a replay of that quite soon. Tijmen Elkhuizen defending in towards that strong hairpin once again. Coming into Van Giel chicane on towards Cunningham corner. Still in P4, has increased the gap a little bit. Nico Schiffer, he can relax just a tiny bit. Loosening the shoulders, he's in P3, the gap is 0.5 of a second, little bit of a wiggle again from Tijmen Elkhuizen, exiting Collier curves. He's still going relatively strong in P4, needs to keep his head cool to remain in that fourth spot. Just lost the podium to Nico Schiffer, 0.9 is the gap now. This is the replay. Nico Schiffer overtaking the man who was P3, Andy Paloneva. Following Nico Schiffer beautifully, but he can't get enough speed through that corner. And so Tijmen Elkhuizen lost the position again. And I saw a mirror fly off the car of Hendrik Lichtenhagen. As you look closely, I didn't even know this was possible, but he doesn't have a left mirror. The mirror of Hendrik Lichtenhagen has been totally broken as he goes down the inside. Now Paranova needs to leave the space for the number 55 car, does so, but Lichtenhagen cannot get his corner speed correctly to complete the overtake. That was a late send, but probably a send in desperation. This is the final lap, and if nothing goes wrong, Felix Vosser will win the very first round, the very first race of this championship. He has yet to win this entire round, as we still have a reversed grid coming up. Coming through Tower Turn on towards Flying Fortress Straight. In towards that very tricky section, Genderbeen Bend, the left-hander and then the right-hander on towards Ulmen Straight. And credit where credit is due, but the Finnish driver Samuel Suopanki has not made it relatively easy. Felix Vosser had to keep an eye out on the Finnish driver the entire race. But it's not going to be enough for Suopanki. Vosser took the lead at the very start and never looked back. The German driver will win the very first race of this new NXTGP Porsche Super Cup Championship. But we'll start from P10 in the feature race, and he has to do it all over again. Samuel Suopanki will finish in second. Nico Schiffer, a hard-fought P3 is for him. Tijmen Elkhuizen also needs to do it all over again, but maybe his starting position in the feature race is a little bit more favorable. To also keep behind Henry Paloneva.
but he will start in P5. Hendrik Lichtenhagen finishes P6, followed by Ewout van Kruijsen, followed by Davide Coatti. I think I can get the race results of the race in a bit. But first we have a little bit of a break as the driver will warm up, test the waters again for the very next race and the second race of this first round here at Sebring Raceway. We'll see you in 5 minutes. Maybe subconsciously. Class. So P1 for him. He has yet to win this entire round, as we still have a reversed grid coming up. His driver the entire race, but it's not going to be enough for Suapanki. Votter took the lead at the very start and never looked back. The German driver will win the very first race of this new NXTGP Porsche Super Cup Championship, but we'll start from P10 in the feature race, and he has to do it all over again. Samuel Suapanki will finish in second. Nico Schiffer, a hard-fought P3 is for him. Timon Elkhuysen also needs to do it all over again, but maybe his starting position in the feature race is a little bit more favorable to also keep behind Henry Paloneva, but he will start in P5. Hendrik Lichtenhagen finishes P6, followed by Ewout van Kruijsen, followed by Davide Coatti. I think I can get the race results of the race in a bit. But first we have a little bit of a break as the driver will warm up, test the waters again for the very next race and the second race of this first round here at Sebring Raceway. We'll see you in 5 minutes. Maybe subconsciously. Class. So P1 for him. He has yet to win this first round. As we conclude the warm-up, we will now very quickly go to the grid of this reversed grid race. Jan Nobel will start on P1, pole position. It is for the German driver after finishing P10. It's then going to be Thijs Coatti, Harold van Kruiswijk, Lichtenhagen, Paloneva, followed by Elkhuizen, followed by Nico Schiffer, who obviously finished third. It's going to be Suopanku in P2, followed by Votter, the winner from last race, followed by Niklas Werler and Metteler in P12. It's then going to be Prien in P13. Alright. Our eyes are set to the lights, to the grid. As the engines rev.
Green, green, green.
And away we go for this second round, for its second race in this first round. Julian Thijs in the red car in P2, but he's had a good start compared to the man in P1. Needs to do it around the outside. It's going to be all chaos in the midfield as the top drivers want to go get their way up. As I see Nico Schiffer going wide, they're 3 wide coming into turn 3. And it's all going well so far. No real shenanigans, no real contact being made. That's good to see. Henry Paloneva making his way up the grid as quickly as possible. It's a bad start for Samuel Suopanki. Henry Paloneva gained 1 position. Hendrik Lichtenhagen gained 2. Now wanting to gain 1 more up the inside of Julian Thijs. And now he's in the best spot to probably win this race. Where is Felix Votter? In front of him, Tijmen Elkhuizen. On the inside, Ewald van Kruiswijk. Ewald van Kruiswijk, oh, contact there. And there goes Felix Votter. 2 positions in 1 corner as everything kicks off in that corner. Samuel Suopanki having a hard time. Everyone fighting for their lives. Contact being made. There goes Ewald van Kruiswijk. Contact. A lot of cars into the wall. Niklas Werler, Ewald van Kruiswijk. Probably DNF from this race. Drama after all, after such a clean getaway. And 2 cars with meatball flags, so they have to return to pit. Well, Ewald van Kruiswijk is already in pit lane. Let's see what happened there. Let's see if we can get a replay of those incidents soon. Now, here is Ewald van Kruiswijk already. No. And there goes Niklas Werler. Contact was being made. Replay sadly doesn't stretch out too far. Well, the race is still on the way. Felix Votter has a train to catch because he's doing everything he can to get probably as fast to Henry Lichtenhagen. Tijmen Elkhuizen winning 1 spot once more. Julian Thijs, the big loser of this start, has already lost 5 positions. There goes Samuel Suopanki on the inside. Nico Schiffer is being held up as well. Now gets by. And now the pole promotion esports driver is behind the man who came the second last time around, Samuel Suopanki. Defending, Nico Schiffer wanting to go on the attack, filling the rear view mirrors of the Finnish driver ahead of him. But can't find a way by so far. Felix Votter getting closer and closer to his next target. Up in P4 has overtaken Davide Coatti a lap ago. Now charging towards Henry Paloneva. And there's a fight for the lead because it's Hendrik Lichtenhagen who takes that lead from Jan Nobel into Le Mans corner. He's already done it. And now Henry Paloneva might benefit from that as well. Slow exit for the German driver who's not even driven 2 laps into the lead of this race. And now the Finnish driver down the inside as well. Sunset Bend. Jan Nobel doesn't make the life
of the 519 very hard. All to benefit for Felix Votter. All this fighting is losing the cars in front. Just a little bit of time, but that's everything Votter needs. Starting lap 3 of this 20-minute long race. Maybe down the inside. It's a bit too much asked right now. Perhaps a move coming into the hairpin turn is about to await for Jan Nobel. Looking in his rearview mirrors, seeing the pole promotion Porsche car, not defending by any means necessary, and so Felix Votter wants and will take that chance to overtake Jan Nobel and get himself up to P3. Henry Paloneva needs to fight for his life if he wants to retain that second place, which would give Hendrik Lichtenhagen some more time to maybe even increase the gap. Towards Genderbeen Bend, in towards turn 12. Oh, a little bit of a wiggle there for Paloneva, but still closing the gap to Hendrik Lichtenhagen. It's a German versus a Finnish versus a German driver. Now my finish isn't so excellent, but I'm quite sure Henry Paloneva might want some words for encouragement. He's going to have a tough time as he's trying to both attack and defend at the same time. Davide Coati on the outside of turn 1, Jan Nobel fighting back, getting that P4. But Davide Coati is still on his inside, might want to look down the inside of turn 3. Still there, his nose is still there, and so Jan Nobel needs to give him the space, and so he does. And maybe even Tijmen Elkhuizen can get that position. Yes, he can, but it's absolute horrible for Jan Nobel because he dropped down. Davide Coati also had a bad exit, dropping down. Elkhuizen taking the defensive line. No contact between the cars. Samuel Surpak on the outside of the hairpin turn. Contact being made. Drivers shoveling each other off track. Hard racing. And even Felix Votter now down the inside of Henry Paloneva. Very strategic by Paloneva. Not wanting to get into the way of Felix Votter, knowing the car in front of him is actually much faster. And maybe they can both charge towards Hendrik Lichtenhagen, your current race leader. But the lot just went down in the fight for the midfield, for the top 4, for the best of the rest positions. Tijmen Elkhuizen hasn't shaken off Suabanki and probably won't for a good time. Davide Coati losing places. Nico Schiffer has finally managed to call himself upon this train of cars. Down the inside he goes, claiming on position. Jan Nobel having a really tough time, having a really tough few laps here. The gap to P1 has been decreased to only 0.2 of a second, and Lichtenhagen knows that. How much will Lichtenhagen give for the win? He only has to, well, technically defend for 12 minutes. Is that doable against someone like Felix Votter? Is that doable with also Henry Paloneva behind you? Doesn't really look to take the defensive line. Now he does, and thus Felix Votter needs to try it around the outside.
Will he accomplish it? Down to hairpin turn, contact being made between the drivers. And Hendrik Lichtenhagen says, no thank you sir, not today. I will keep my lead, I will defend my lead. Luckily, Felix Votter has a very wise finish driver behind him, so he doesn't really have to actually look in his rear view mirrors. Lichtenhagen needs to defend once more, taking the defensive line. Felix Votter being patient. Well, this is going to be right old scrap for the lead in this race. And when Hendrik Lichtenhagen gets overtaken by Felix Votter, if he gets overtaken, I'm sure Henry Palanova wants to find a way to get by as well. But taking the defensive line into Sunset Bend, if you can overtake anywhere on the track, it's in the first and last corner. If you want to do it around the outside, Felix Votter making everything off that side draft, but having the outside line, it's difficult, but it's not impossible for the German driver. Hendrik Lichtenhagen prevails and keeps his P1, but how is his exit out of the first turn? Felix Votter. Oh, a little bit of contact between the drivers around the outside of turn 1. It's possible, yes, for sure. Is it possible for Votter? His car is still alongside, but he doesn't have the outside for the next turn. And so Lichtenhagen has a massive advantage. Takes the defensive line and wins that battle. Oh no, Palaneva finally wants to get by, gets P2. Felix Votter needs to do his hard work all over again as the gap in front increases. Yes, Votter goes down the inside, of course he does. Getting that position, maybe back once again, shoving the Finnish driver wide, saying, I'll have that, thank you very much, please. Henry Palanova not happy with the move, quite understandably. It's hard racing if you ask me. Well, all the while these drivers have been fighting, Tijmen Elkhuizen and Sabol Suopanki have been closing the gaps. So perhaps even P3, a podium spot, is in sight for Elkhuizen and Suopanki if they decide to work together even longer. You can only sit back and enjoy your race like this. As Elkhuizen, I've completely missed it, was overtaken by Suopanki. So I was just telling you, if these drivers kind of behave and actually work together, they might actually have a shot. But Suopanki passed Elkhuizen just a moment ago. It happened in the blink of an eye. Elkhuizen around the outside. Of course he does it around the outside. What a ridiculous move. He's still alongside. Elkhuizen has passed Suopanki around the outside. What a fantastic move. And now we get back to the fight for P1. Henry Palanova down the inside. Votter is going to absolutely curse some words in German, because these two drivers are losing the connection with the lead very shortly. But Henry Palanova doesn't care, he wants to get that P2. Surely he won't be fooled for a second time, taking the defensive line into hairpin turn. Felix Votter around the outside, doesn't work. It's coin flipping between these drivers. Let's get back to the move. This was from earlier actually. This is the move. Tijmen Elkhuizen going wide, allowing Suopanki to take that place. And he says thank you very much. Rules are reversed by now. Henry Palanova chasing down that lead. That would be something. Hendrik Lichtenhagen enjoying seeing the battle behind him. As long as these two are fighting, He likes it. He can extend his lead. Well, we have roughly 6 minutes to go. That means we have 3 laps to go to be exact. Even 2 laps probably. On board with Henry Paloneva. On board with Felix Votter. He sees 2 cars in front of him. Wants to overtake that 2 cars desperately as soon as possible. Let's see what he does coming in towards hairpin turn. Surprise attack for Felix Votter. Keeps calm behind the Finnish driver. Niklas Werler has crashed. Let's see what happened to Niklas Werler. This is him exiting pit lane. Does he lose it? Oh, he loses it. Does he get damage? Ah, just a touch with the ball for the man who was already running last. Felix Votter coming closer and closer now. My fancy one down the inside thinks the better of it. Right in front of them is the 509 of that same Niklas Werler who we just saw crashing out. Oh, goes out of the way, very sportsmanlike, and there goes Felix Votter. Oh, the opportunity arose, and he makes the most of that opportunity to overtake Henry Paloneva. Let's get back very quickly. There it is, Henry Paloneva simply making a mistake, outbraking himself, going wide. And this is the chance Felix Votter has been waiting for, patiently dying to get that move, to get that P2. Now rapidly charging towards P1. 2 laps to go. Can Hendrik Lichtenhagen defend his lead for just 2 more laps? That's all he needs. Elkhuysen and Soapanki also giving it their all for that 4th spot. Elkhuysen down the inside, Soapanki around the outside he goes. It's not done yet because there's another car turn coming. And yes, Elkhuysen prevails. Switch back to the leading group. Felix Votter. 2 tenths, only 2 tenths is the gap from Votter to Lichtenhagen. Elkhuysen still defending. Nico Schiffer getting closer and closer to this group as well. It's all going to kick off in the remaining stages of this race. We have a 3-man battle for P1, 2 and 3, and we have a 3-man battle for the top 4, for the top 6 positions. Soapanki trying it once more. Elkhuysen closing the door. Lichtenhagen wants to do the same to Felix Votter. What a race this is, ladies and gentlemen. Are you not entertained? Even with a small field like this, entertainment doesn't have to be far away. Good racing doesn't have to be far away here at NXTGP. Oh, but look at that, Felix Votter made just a tiny mistake. And this is going to be the last lap. Felix Votter needs to do it now. He not only needs to close the 3 tenths gap, he needs to close even more, because there goes the Finnish driver. Sends one down the inside. Felix Votter will be cursing in German, because there goes perhaps his chance for the lead. And the Finnish driver actually completed the move. Felix Votter still alongside him. Is this going to end badly? No, it isn't. Oh, around the outside. Paloneva, but Votter gets the position, now needs to defend. And Hendrik Lichtenhagen is seeing it all unfold in his rearview mirrors, praying to God, thanking God for the existence of Henry Paloneva, because he is single-handedly denying the victory for Felix Votter. We still have a half a lap to go. But with needing to take defensive lines, it's not going to work. So Punky, in the meantime, improving himself to P4. But this fight isn't over yet. Now the gap is 4 tenths. Can Hendrik Lichtenhagen keep his head cool? Back to the fight for P4. Samuel Sopanki prevailing. Elkhuysen running a little bit wide. Maybe Nico Schiffer. Now is the time. Now is the time for Nico Schiffer. Down the inside, thinking the better of it. Gap is 5 tenths. It's not going to be enough for Felix Votter to claim the victory of this race. Oh, Hendrik Lichtenhagen made a little bit of a mistake. Time is dropping. It's going to come down to the final corner. Felix Votter trying to get the best exit he can. He didn't get a great exit. He might be helped slightly by the slipstream. 2 tenths is the gap. Votter trying everything to get a nose in towards Sunset Bend, but I'm afraid it's not going to be enough. Hendrik Lichtenhagen defended for almost the entire race, gets the second win here at the circuit of Sebring, and Felix Votter will chase him, but get me to by not even a tenth of a second. Henry Palanova will get 3rd place. Well, that win is definitely being supported by Henry Palanova. Samuel Suopanki finishing in P4. Tijmen Elkhuysen finishing in P5, followed by Nico Schiffer, who's had not a great racing round here at NXTGP. We can then get to the full results if my overlay wants to actually work. There we have it, the feature race results after an absolute thrilling second race here at the circuit of Sebring. Lichtenhagen will win the second race here, followed by Felix Votter. He couldn't make it 2 in a row, maybe next time at Spa-Francorchamps, but it's going to be Palanova in 3rd place, taking that final podium spot. Samuel Sopanki will finish in P4, followed by Elkhuysen. Nico Schiffer in P6, followed by Davide Coatti, who lost 4 places. He will be probably a little bit saddened. P7 for him. Jan Nobel will finish in P8, followed by Thijs, followed by Metzler. Prien, Niklas Weiler will finish 6 lap downs. And Ewart van Kruijsen, he crashed at the start of the race, at the opening laps of this race, and will come back, hopefully stronger for him next time around at the circuit Spa-Francorchamps for the very second round in about a week. We'll see you back at NXTGP for that second round. I thank you all for watching here for this to watch the very first round of this new Porsche Carrera Super Cup Championship again here at NXTGP. Thank you for NXTGP for hosting. Thank you for Sim Racing Center for the amazing prizes you will have in this competition, which is not concluded. 6 rounds in total, 5 rounds to go. We'll see you at the Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps for the very next round in this championship.